Disgusting. Vile. Horrific. Gross. Rank. That is just a few of the words I have described this book that I have finally finished as being. Hello and welcome to a book review of the most disgusting book I have ever read. It came in an Illumicrate Evernight box, which is their horror subscription, and it came in July, and because of its cover and its blurb, I thought that one is going to be perfect for October. And boy was I right, but wow did I underestimate this book. And this book is The Eyes Are the Best Part by Monika Kim. It's only a little book, but Jesus Christ. And this is the blurb for it. Jiwon's, I hope, I'm probably not pronouncing this right, but I'm just going to go with it because this is what I heard in my head. Jiwon's life tumbles into disarray in the wake of her Appa's extramarital affair and subsequent departure. Her mother, distraught. Her younger sister, hurt and confused. Her college freshman grades, failing. Her dreams, horrifying, yet enticing. In them, Jiwon walks through bloody rooms full of blue eyes. Salivatingly perfect male eyes. Eyes the same shape and shade as George's, who is Umma's obnoxious new boyfriend. George has already overstayed his welcome in her family's claustrophobic apartment. He brags about his puffed-up consulting job, ogles Asian waitresses while dining out, and acts condescending towards Jiwon and her sister as if he deserves all of Umma's fawning adoration. No, George doesn't deserve anything from her family. Jiwon will make sure of that. Jiwon's hunger and her rage deserve to be sated. Now I knew it was going to be a little bit disgusting, but boy was I unprepared. Because this little book takes the cake for being the most vile, rank, grossest thing I have ever read. And considering the other stuff which is on my shelf, that is a feat. And this mostly has to do with the writing in this book. It is not that the writing is disgraceful and awful and horrible and ugh. It's the thing that the writing is describing is awful and horrible and ugh. Because the descriptions of what Jiwon is doing, when she's doing what she's doing, when it involves anything to do with eyeballs, is practically vomit-inducing. It's so descriptive that you can practically feel these slimy round things in your hands. You can taste them in your mouth and you can feel them going down your throat. It's vile. If anything to do with eyes, eyeballs, anything to do with that really just grosses you out as the most disgusting thing ever, this is not a book for you. This is not a book for the faint-hearted. I'm not even sure it came with a trigger warning, to be honest. No, there's no trigger warning at all with this. And it's probably the only book in my collection where I would say it needs one. Now, considering the books that I like to read is mostly horror, not really body horror, but I don't mind a few elements of that if it goes along with the story. Considering that, and I'm not really that squeamish, this tiny little book of 274 pages has taken me 3 weeks to read. For more context, a book this size took me a day and a half. And look at the size comparison. Look, it's just a little thing. It's only a little one. But boy oh boy, it's fucking rank. Because I couldn't get it. I couldn't get through it. I had to keep putting it down because it was so disgusting. In fact, I'm going to read you some so you lot can suffer as well as I can. And if you think that I'm overinflating this for, clout purposes, believe me, I'm not. So you lot are going to have to suffer along with me. So our main character just comes upon a body, shall we say. And here we go. If you don't like eyeballs or anything to do with eyes, skip to this time up there. I will put it on the screen because it's a bit much. This man's face had none of the waxy unnaturalness that Halimone's had, and if I didn't know better, I would have assumed he was just sleeping. Seeing him, I'm inundated with memories. George fast asleep on the couch, George staring at me across the table, George, his fingers slick with saliva, squeezing a freshly cleaned fish eye, George smiling, George and his blue eyes. The knife is in my hand before I know what I'm doing. It sinks into the eyelid easily, like he is not made of flesh and bone, but softened butter and cheese instead. Blood spills out onto my hands. My stomach knots painfully, but I force myself to continue. I expect the eye to pop out easily, the way I've imagined it in my dreams. But even after I've cut around the socket and removed the flap of skin that is his eyelid, the eyeball stubbornly refuses to budge. I take a deep breath and use my nails to dig it out. It's fucking rank. The optic nerve snaps and I'm left holding an oozing mass in my fist. Bringing it close to my face, I stare, hypnotised by its colour. It's gorgeous, stunning, beautiful. I want to taste it, to chew it, to swallow it whole. That's fucking disgusting. It's rank. It's rank. It's just disgusting. Now, you take all the grossness out of this, or the whole eyeball thing, and the story behind it being the family dynamic of mother and two daughters and this deadbeat boyfriend is very well written, and you really feel sympathy for all of the main characters in this. Except George. That douchebag gets exactly what he should. When Uma is waiting for her husband to return, the endless sitting by the door, sitting watching the door, waiting for hours, days, months, years for him to return is just so raw that you really feel for her. You really, really do. And you really feel for all of them that are in that situation. At times you want to just give them all a hug and at the same time take them by the shoulders and shake some goddamn sense into them. Because a man is not worth that much degradation. Now, once you get past the gore into the main meat of the story itself, the amount of plot holes that are in this is glaringly obvious. There's going to be so many puns. Ji-won is covered in blood, getting all these eyeballs out of eye sockets. It's not exactly the most cleanliest thing to do. And her clothes are covered in blood, as she is. And she washes it off at a gas station, but you can't really get blood out of clothes that quickly, within 2 minutes. And nobody mentions it. Nobody mentions that her clothes are covered in blood. She doesn't say that she tries to hide them or takes them to a cleaner's, because why would you? She just arrives at her friend's or arrives home and nobody says anything about it, which you would expect them to do. The fact that while she's on this thing that she's on, she doesn't get caught. She doesn't get seen. And it's a university campus, a university town. There's CCTV everywhere. And not once does she try and stay out of the cameras. Not once does she even look for them. So everything that she's doing is just out in the open. Anybody could have seen her. She doesn't take pains to hide what she's doing. Not to mention the technological phone digging that police can do with mobile phones to see the times of calls, the times of messages, the content of phones, even in this police investigation, never gets checked. People just take her word for what's going on. And that's just unfeasible. And it doesn't match with the timeline that's set in this. It doesn't match it one little bit. And then we come to the whole end section, which is the hospital section. And nothing in this section makes sense. It's a bit rushed, more than a bit. It's completely disjointed time-wise. The reason characters do what they do is like, why are you doing what you're doing? Just, why? Because normal people wouldn't act like that, and a police investigation would not be that incompetent to do what it was doing. Now, one thing that the author did get, I want to say right, but I have absolutely no experience on this outlook, is the Asian perspective. It makes for very uncomfortable reading because it is all too believable. It's like entering a whole new world. And the way the author describes certain interactions with white men in particular leads me to believe that the author herself or somebody she knows has had these type of interactions happen to them or experience them in real life. I can believe it. And that in itself was eye-opening. I couldn't resist. Now, this is a special edition. It is a beautiful book. Well, it's a beautiful book. I'm just going to do some... I'm going to come up to the camera. I'm going to show you what this looks like. Because it is a lovely, lovely book. If disgusting. Just, it's fucking vile, to be honest. Just look at this thing. Blech. Ugh. And even the end paper artwork is just... it's really good art. It's really good art. It's really good art, but just it's so fucking sick. This book gets 3.5 stars. The story, all the plot holes do let it down a bit, but it does get 3.5 stars. 2 for mainly just grossing me out completely. Just, it's fucking sick. Will I ever read this again? No. I will never pick this book up to read again. Ever, ever, ever. It's... no. But will I sell it? In months to come, I might. At this point, I'm not. I am going to keep this on my bookshelf as my little disgusting horror trophy that, you know what? I got through that. It might have took me 3 weeks to get through 200 pages, but I did it. If you have a disgusting book that's just grossed you out completely, let me know down below. I probably won't read it, but I do like to know what they are. And some of them I might have read. And if you've read this one, let me know your thoughts as well in the comments below. Did you have such a visceral reaction as I did? That it's... even looking at it, it's just... For Halloween, it's a good book to read. If eyes disgust you, then I wouldn't bother. But I got through it and I'm so happy.